When images of this project leaked, experts in the United States didn't believe it was real. The scale is overwhelming, the technology is aggressive, and the message is clear. China is playing a different game now. Join us, and let's discover the new Chinese megaproject that's shaking the United States. Let's go.
Number 8. China's $551 billion underground pipeline renovation. Chinese cities began a $551 billion project in 2024 to replace aging water, sewage, and gas pipelines running beneath streets and buildings. These underground infrastructure systems span 2.3 million kilometers combined, equivalent to 57 trips around Earth's equator. Many pipes date from the 1950s and 1960s, constructed with materials and techniques that weren't designed to last beyond 30 years. Leaking water pipes waste 15 billion cubic meters annually, enough to meet the needs of 60 million people for an entire year. Gas line failures cause explosions, property damage, and deaths, with 847 incidents reported during 2023 alone across urban areas. The renovation program digs up old pipes section by section, replacing them with modern materials, including high-density polyethylene, ductile iron, and reinforced concrete depending on specific applications. Workers install 15,000 kilometers of new pipeline monthly, operating around the clock to minimize disruption to residents and businesses. The project employs 450,000 construction workers, engineers, and supervisors, working simultaneously across 300 cities and towns. Smart sensors embedded in new pipes monitor pressure, flow rates, and structural integrity continuously, transmitting data to centralized control centers. Automated systems detect leaks within seconds, pinpointing locations to within 10 meters and dispatching repair crews immediately. The upgrades reduce water loss by 82% in renovated sections, dramatically improving efficiency and reducing waste. Gas distribution networks now incorporate automatic shutoff valves that close within milliseconds when dangerous pressure changes occur, preventing explosions before they can develop. Cities receive federal grants up to $167 million each to offset renovation costs, with local governments contributing matching funds from municipal budgets. The infrastructure improvements extend service life to 100 years for water systems and 50 years for gas networks, eliminating repetitive reconstruction cycles. Hidden beneath city streets, these networks form the circulatory system that keeps urban areas functioning, yet they receive far less attention than visible megaprojects like skyscrapers and bridges. Chinese planners recognize that neglecting underground infrastructure creates systemic vulnerabilities that eventually cause catastrophic failures, so they allocated massive resources to address the problem comprehensively. American cities, by contrast, operate water systems with pipes averaging 45 years old, experiencing 240,000 water main breaks annually and losing 2.1 trillion gallons to leaks.
Number 7. Shanghai's 100 exaflops AI computing centers. Shanghai launched construction of 5 new artificial intelligence computing facilities, each capable of performing 100 exaflops calculations per second. For context, 1 exaflops equals 1 quintillion floating point operations, a computational power that exceeds all human calculations performed throughout history combined. These data centers occupy warehouse-sized buildings filled with specialized processors designed specifically for machine learning and neural network training. The facilities require 200 megawatts of continuous electricity, equivalent to the output of a mid-sized power station running at full capacity 24 hours daily. Cooling systems pump 15,000 cubic meters of water per hour through the buildings, preventing processor overheating that would shut down operations within minutes. China's total computing capacity reached 246 exaflops in 2024 and targets 300 exaflops by the end of 2025, representing a 22% increase in just 12 months. Guizhou province transformed into China's Big Data Valley, hosting Apple's iCloud servers alongside Tencent's hyperscale operations and dozens of smaller technology companies. The government provides subsidized electricity rates of 0.03 cents per kilowatt-hour, specifically for data center operators, making large-scale computing economically viable in ways impossible elsewhere. These facilities train artificial intelligence models that process natural language, recognize images, predict market trends, and control autonomous vehicles. The newest installations employ liquid immersion cooling technology, where processors sit directly in non-conductive fluid, improving heat dissipation efficiency by 47% over traditional air cooling methods. Chinese tech companies now deploy underwater server pods in coastal regions, using ocean water as a natural coolant and reducing energy consumption for temperature management. Ultra-high voltage transmission lines deliver electricity from distant renewable energy sources directly to computing centers, minimizing dependence on local coal plants. The data centers operate continuously without downtime, processing information for government services, private businesses, and consumer applications simultaneously. Security protocols include biometric access controls, electromagnetic shielding, and military-grade encryption for all stored and transmitted information. China invested $6.1 billion into these computing facilities during the first half of 2024 alone, with additional billions allocated for ongoing expansion throughout subsequent years. American technology firms recognize they're competing not against individual companies, but against an entire nation's coordinated infrastructure development strategy focused on achieving dominance in artificial intelligence applications.
I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item.
Number 6. Tengger Desert Solar Park, 1,547 megawatt power station. China built something in the middle of nowhere that generates more electricity than most countries consume in a year. The Tengger Desert Solar Park stretches across 1,200 square kilometers of sand and rocks in Inner Mongolia, producing 1,547 megawatts of clean energy. This place used to be completely empty, just endless desert under a burning sun. Now it hosts over 3.2 million solar panels working together like a massive energy factory. The panels track the sun automatically throughout the day, maximizing every ray of light that hits the desert surface. Chinese engineers chose this location specifically because it receives 3,000 hours of direct sunlight annually, far more than most regions on Earth. The project connects to the national grid through 750 kilovolt transmission lines that carry electricity to Beijing, Shanghai, and dozens of other cities across the country. What makes this installation truly different from traditional solar farms is its scale and efficiency rating of 23.7%, meaning it converts nearly a quarter of incoming sunlight directly into usable electricity. During peak production hours, this single facility generates enough power to supply 600,000 homes simultaneously. The construction phase employed 12,000 workers who installed panels at a rate of 40,000 units per week, completing the entire project in just 14 months. Unlike fossil fuel plants that require constant fuel delivery and maintenance, these panels operate with minimal human intervention, reducing operational costs by 60% compared to coal-fired alternatives. The facility also includes battery storage systems capable of holding 2,500 megawatt-hours of energy, allowing electricity distribution even after sunset. Chinese authorities invested $1.8 billion into this single installation, demonstrating their commitment to renewable energy infrastructure at an unprecedented scale. The project displaced 980,000 tons of carbon emissions annually, equivalent to removing 210,000 cars from the roads permanently. Local communities near the installation now receive free electricity during off-peak hours, dramatically improving living standards in previously isolated desert regions. This isn't just about clean energy. It represents China's strategy to dominate the global renewable technology market through massive infrastructure deployment. American energy companies watched nervously as this project came online, knowing they lack the capital and political will to match such ambitious development.
Number 5. China's 200 million item consumer trade-in program. China launched nationwide incentives in 2025, encouraging citizens to replace old appliances, electronics, furniture, and vehicles with new, more efficient alternatives. The program provides government subsidies covering 15 to 25% of purchase prices for qualifying products, making upgrades financially attractive to ordinary consumers. Authorities allocated funds to support trade-ins of mobile phones, tablets, smartwatches, televisions, refrigerators, washing machines, and air conditioners across the country. The initiative targets 200 million individual transactions during 2025, injecting $85 billion in consumer spending while removing obsolete products from circulation. Old appliances consume 40% more electricity than modern equivalents, so replacements reduce national energy consumption even as living standards improve. The program extends to new energy city buses, with subsidies encouraging municipal governments to retire diesel vehicles and purchase electric alternatives.
Over 68,000 city buses received replacement funding during the first quarter of 2025, cutting urban air pollution by measurable percentages within months. Agricultural machinery upgrades received increased incentive levels, helping farmers purchase GPS-guided tractors, automated harvesters, and precision irrigation systems. These improvements boost agricultural productivity by 18%, while reducing water and fertilizer usage through targeted application based on real-time soil condition monitoring. Household furniture and decoration trade-ins stimulate the interior design industry, while encouraging consumers to purchase domestically manufactured goods. The program doesn't merely boost economic activity, but strategically directs spending towards sectors the government wants to develop, including electric vehicles, smart home devices, and energy-efficient appliances. Participating retailers report sales increases of 35% compared to previous years, with government subsidies covering losses from discounted pricing. Recycling facilities process millions of tons of discarded items, extracting valuable materials including copper, aluminum, rare earth elements, and precious metals for reuse in manufacturing. The environmental benefits include diverting waste from landfills while reducing the need for virgin material extraction through mining and drilling. Critics note that encouraging consumption contradicts environmental sustainability, creating a paradox where short-term economic stimulus undermines long-term ecological goals. However, Chinese officials argue that replacing inefficient devices with modern alternatives generates net environmental benefits despite increased manufacturing activity. The program also serves political purposes, demonstrating government responsiveness to citizens' economic concerns and maintaining social stability through visible improvement in living standards.
Number 4. Xiong'an New Area, the $119 billion new city. The Chinese government announced in 2017 that it would construct an entirely new metropolis covering 2,000 square kilometers in Hubei province, designed to alleviate population pressure on Beijing. Xiong'an New Area received $119.25 billion in cumulative investments by February 2025, transforming agricultural fields into a modern urban center with 1.36 million residents. The city planning incorporates principles learned from decades of rapid urbanization, prioritizing sustainable development, integrated transportation, and smart city technologies from the foundation. Over 200 state-owned enterprises established operations in Xiong'an, relocating headquarters and regional offices from overcrowded Beijing to reduce congestion in the capital. The government restricts private vehicle ownership, instead providing extensive public transportation, including subways, light rail, buses, and dedicated bicycle lanes throughout the city. Buildings incorporate energy-efficient designs with solar panels, green roofs, and rainwater collection systems as standard features required by city code. The master plan reserves 70% of urban area for green spaces, parks, and water features, creating a dramatic contrast with typical Chinese cities where development consumes almost all available land. Underground logistics networks transport goods and waste through automated systems, keeping delivery trucks off surface streets and reducing traffic, noise, and pollution. The city's digital infrastructure includes citywide 5G coverage, fiber optic internet to every building, and integrated sensors monitoring everything from air quality to traffic flow in real time. Xiong'an serves as a testing ground for technologies including autonomous vehicles, smart streetlights that adjust brightness based on pedestrian presence, and AI-powered traffic management systems. Housing remains strictly controlled through government allocation, preventing the speculative real estate bubbles that plague established Chinese cities. Schools, hospitals, and cultural facilities received construction priority, ensuring residents have access to essential services without long commutes. The project aims to relocate 2 to 3 million people from Beijing over 15 years, reducing the capital's population pressure while creating economic opportunities in a new regional hub. Critics question whether people will willingly move to an artificial city, lacking the character and history of established urban centers. However, the government offers incentives including guaranteed jobs, subsidized housing, and superior schools that make Xiong'an attractive to young families and professionals. This represents China's confidence in large-scale planned development, believing that concentrating resources and expertise can create livable cities more efficiently than organic growth patterns. No other nation attempts urban planning at this scale, with most cities evolving gradually over centuries rather than appearing fully formed within a decade.
Number 3. Shuangjiangkou Dam, world's tallest at 315 meters. The Shuangjiangkou Dam in Sichuan province rises 315 meters above the Dadu River, making it the tallest dam structure on Earth when completed. Construction costs reached $5 billion for the single installation, employing 8,000 workers who poured 14 million cubic meters of concrete and rockfill over 7 years. The dam creates a reservoir holding 10.8 billion cubic meters of water, enough to cover the entire city of Los Angeles to a depth of 10 meters. Turbines generate 2,000 megawatts of electricity continuously, supplying power to 2.5 million homes throughout southwestern China. Engineers designed the structure to withstand magnitude 9.0 earthquakes, critical in a region experiencing frequent seismic activity along major tectonic fault lines. The reservoir also provides flood control for downstream communities, storing excess water during seasonal monsoons that previously devastated villages and agricultural lands. China operates a total hydropower capacity of 370 gigawatts, far exceeding any other nation and representing 28% of the world's total hydroelectric generation. The Three Gorges Dam, completed in 2012, remains the largest power station of any kind on the planet, producing 111,800 gigawatt-hours of electricity annually. These massive projects displace communities and submerge cultural sites, creating controversy around environmental and social costs versus energy benefits. The government relocated 1.4 million people for Three Gorges construction, providing compensation packages and new housing in nearby cities. Hydroelectric facilities produce zero emissions during operation, making them attractive for meeting climate commitments while satisfying growing energy demands. Dam construction also serves strategic purposes, controlling water flow to downstream nations and providing leverage in international negotiations. The Mekong River originates in China and flows through 5 Southeast Asian countries that depend on its water for agriculture and fishing. Chinese dams on the upper Mekong regulate water release, affecting millions of people downstream who have little voice in operational decisions. Environmental groups warn that these projects devastate river ecosystems, blocking fish migration routes and altering sediment flows that maintain delta fertility. Despite criticisms, China continues expanding hydropower development, with 47 major dams currently under construction and another 120 in advanced planning stages. The technical expertise gained from these projects allows Chinese engineering firms to export dam building services globally, securing contracts in Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia worth billions annually.
Number 2. Citic Tower, Beijing, the 528-meter China Zun skyscraper. Beijing's skyline got a new king in 2018 when the Citic Tower topped out at 528 meters. Locals call it China Zun because the building's shape mimics an ancient Chinese wine vessel used during ceremonies thousands of years ago. The design starts narrow at the base, expands outward through the middle floors, then tapers again at the top, creating a distinctive silhouette visible from anywhere in the city. This building sits in Beijing's central business district, where it dominates the landscape as the tallest structure for hundreds of kilometers in any direction. Construction began in 2013 and took 5 years to complete, employing advanced engineering techniques to handle Beijing's seismic activity and extreme temperature swings between brutal winters and scorching summers. The tower contains 108 floors above ground and 7 levels below, providing 437,000 square meters of usable space for offices, retail, and observation decks. Engineers designed the structure to withstand magnitude 8.0 earthquakes, using a series of dampers and flexible connections that allow the building to sway without suffering structural damage. The foundation required excavating 33 meters below street level, pouring enough concrete to form a base that distributes the tower's 500,000-ton weight across unstable Beijing soil. Steel and concrete composite construction gives the tower incredible strength while reducing overall weight compared to traditional all-concrete designs. The facade features 140,000 square meters of glass panels that create a shimmering effect as sunlight moves across the building throughout the day. Advanced climate control systems maintain comfortable temperatures despite the massive volume of interior space, using smart sensors that adjust heating and cooling based on occupancy and weather conditions. Wind tunnel testing during the design phase optimized the building's aerodynamic profile, reducing wind loads by 18% compared to a conventional rectangular tower of similar height. The observation deck on the 108th floor offers 360-degree views of Beijing, including clear sightlines to the Forbidden City, Temple of Heaven, and the distant mountains surrounding the capital. Construction costs reached $4.3 billion, making it one of the most expensive buildings ever constructed in China. The tower serves as headquarters for Citic Group, one of China's largest state-owned conglomerates, symbolizing the country's economic power concentrated in a single architectural statement.
Number 1. Ping An Finance Center, Shenzhen, the 599-meter giant. Shenzhen built something absolutely massive right next to Hong Kong's border. The Ping An Finance Center shoots 599 meters straight up, making it the 4th tallest building on the planet and the 2nd tallest in China. This tower opened in 2017 after 6 years of construction that transformed a city block into a vertical metropolis housing 12,000 people daily. The building looks like a steel and glass column piercing the clouds, with a tapered design that makes it appear even taller than its actual height. What makes this tower different from other skyscrapers is its location in Shenzhen, a city that literally didn't exist 45 years ago. Now it stands as one of China's richest cities, and this building serves as proof of that transformation. The structure contains 115 floors above ground, holding offices for financial companies, luxury hotels, conference centers, and an observation deck that offers views across the Pearl River Delta. Engineers designed the foundation to extend 56 meters underground, creating stability for a building that weighs over 900,000 tons, fully loaded with people, equipment, and furniture. The exterior uses 1,400 tons of stainless steel and structural elements, combined with reinforced concrete cores that provide rigidity during earthquakes and typhoons. Advanced damping systems installed throughout the building absorb vibrations, keeping upper floors stable even when winds hit 200 kilometers per hour. The tower originally planned to include a 60-meter antenna spire that would have pushed total height past 660 meters, but aviation authorities rejected this because it would interfere with flight paths into nearby airports. Glass panels covering the facade amount to 132,000 square meters of surface area, enough to cover 18 football fields if laid flat. The building uses 95 high-speed elevators moving at 10 meters per second, transporting occupants from ground level to the top in less than 2 minutes. Energy efficiency features include a double-skin facade that insulates against heat gain, reducing air conditioning costs by 30% compared to conventional glass towers. Construction employed 20,000 workers at peak activity, operating 24 hours daily to meet aggressive completion deadlines set by the developer. The Ping An Finance Center cost approximately $1.5 billion to build and immediately became Shenzhen's most recognizable landmark, visible from both sides of the Hong Kong border.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.